You know, in the emergency room, you think you've seen it all. You think you've felt it all. But every once in a while, a moment finds you. A moment that grabs your throat, freezes your breath, and changes the way you look at people forever. For me, that moment was the night a 7-year-old girl walked into the ER alone, clutching a stuffed rabbit, and no one came looking for her. This is the story I've never forgotten. And the truth is, I don't think I ever will. My name doesn't matter. And the hospital where this happened doesn't matter either. But what happened inside those walls, that matters a whole lot. It was a Thursday night. One of those nights that starts busy and somehow keeps getting worse. The kind of shift where you forget what hour it is, because every new case pushes the last 10 right out of your memory. Chest pain, overdose, a car accident, a man yelling at us because he'd been waiting too long with a sprained wrist. Typical chaos. The ER waiting room lights always look a little too bright at night. It's something about the combination of sleep deprivation, fluorescent bulbs, and stress that makes everything feel harsher, louder, heavier. You can practically taste the anxiety in the air. I had just finished giving medication to a patient when the security guard waved at me from the front desk. "Hey," he said quietly, bobbing his head toward the sliding doors. "You might want to check this out." I stepped into the waiting room, expecting to see a commotion. Maybe another drunk patient. Maybe someone shouting on their phone. But instead, I saw her. A little girl. Standing alone, barely 7 years old, straight black hair down to her shoulders, pink pajama shirt with unicorns, mismatched socks. In her hands, a stuffed rabbit whose ears looked like they'd been chewed on. She wasn't crying. She wasn't shaking. She wasn't even calling for anyone. She was just waiting, quietly, too quietly. I walked over slowly and knelt beside her. "Hi, sweetie," I said softly. "Where are your parents?" She blinked at me, her voice barely above a whisper. "They left." "Left?" I repeated. "What do you mean?" She tightened her grip on the rabbit. "They said they'd be back." My stomach tightened. We get abandoned patients sometimes. Older patients with dementia, psychiatric patients, even newborns. But a 7-year-old? Walking in by herself? That was different. That was wrong. Security checked the cameras. There she was. She walked in alone. No adult, no older sibling, no one. The guard leaned over the monitor and murmured, "Looks like she came from the parking lot. Came straight through the doors." I felt a chill crawl up my spine. I crouched down again. "What's your name, sweetheart?" "Lily." Her voice cracked on the second syllable. "Okay, Lily," I said gently. "I'm going to help you. Can you tell me why you're here?" She hesitated. Then she looked down at her arm. Bruises, finger-shaped. Old and new mixed together, and suddenly everything inside me went cold. I took her into triage myself. No assistant, no tech. I didn't want anyone else doing it. I needed to understand what was happening. I scanned her body as carefully as I could without frightening her. Bruises on both arms, one near her ribs, a faint one on her jaw. She didn't flinch, not even when I gently touched the bruises. That hurt me more than anything else. Kids usually pull away. Kids usually protect themselves. Kids react. Lily didn't. She'd learned not to. That was the real red flag. I kept my voice light, steady. "Did something happen at home?" She didn't answer. "Did someone hurt you?" A long silence. Then, in the softest voice, "I'm not supposed to say." I felt anger rise in my chest, not at her, but at whoever drilled that rule into her bones. "Sweetheart, you're safe here," I said. "You can tell me anything." She opened her mouth like she wanted to speak, but nothing came out. Instead, she turned her face away and hugged the stuffed rabbit so tightly I worried it might tear. I knew then. Whatever happened was big, bigger than bruises, bigger than being left alone at the ER. Someone had taught her silence. We ran routine checks. Vitals, temperature, all of it. She was healthy, thankfully. No fractures, no internal bleeding, no emergency medical conditions. Physically, she was okay. But emotionally, that child was a locked box. I got her a juice box from the staff refrigerator. Apple flavor, the one kids usually love. She held it in her hands for a while before drinking it slowly, like she wasn't sure she was allowed. I asked again, "Lily, why did your parents leave you here?" This time she answered without looking at me. Daddy was mad. Mad at you? No, she said softly. Mad at Mommy and me. And the way she said, and me, like she was simply part of the collateral damage, shot straight through me. Did he hurt you? A nod. Barely visible. Is that why they brought you here? Another nod. Do you know when they're coming back? She stared at the floor. They aren't. The words were quiet. Matter of fact. Like she'd accepted it long before we realized it. I swallowed hard. Why do you think that, sweetheart? Because Daddy said... He said I was her problem now, and Mommy said she was tired. And then they told me to go. To go? To go where? To the door. They told you to go inside the hospital? She nodded. And then what? They drove away. My throat tightened so hard I could barely speak. This child was abandoned on purpose. Not lost. Not forgotten. Not separated in a crowd. Abandoned. Lily wouldn't let go of her stuffed rabbit. She carried it everywhere. When I asked its name, she whispered, Mr. Buttons. Cute. Innocent. But when I gently took it, just for a second, to put a fresh band on her wrist, I felt something strange inside its belly. A lump. Small. Square. I squeezed it gently. Something hard was sewn inside the rabbit. I froze. Now I needed to be extremely careful. I didn't want to scare her. But I needed to know. Lily, I asked gently, did someone put something inside your rabbit? Her eyes widened. She grabbed Mr. Buttons protectively. That's for Mommy. For Mommy? I repeated. Did Mommy ask you to give it to her? No, she whispered. Mommy said Daddy put it there, and Daddy said Mommy had to keep it or he'd be mad. My breath stuttered. Was it drugs? Money? A tracking device? Something illegal? This was becoming more than child neglect. It was turning into something darker. I alerted security and our social worker. We agreed we needed to examine the rabbit, but only after removing Lily from the room so she wouldn't panic. We distracted her with coloring pages while security opened a seam in the rabbit's side. Inside? Not drugs, not money. A small phone, a burner phone, turned on. Battery charged, but set to silent. Someone had been tracking it, or waiting for it to ring. And suddenly the abandonment made sense. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't parental frustration. This was someone trying to keep a child out of the way without being directly involved. Someone who wanted her silent and hidden. My hands shook as I realized this 7-year-old walked into our emergency room carrying evidence. She was a witness, maybe even leverage, in something dangerous. And they left her with us, hoping she'd disappear into the system. The moment security removed the phone from the rabbit, it buzzed. Just one vibration. No ringtone. The screen lit up. Block number. Everyone around the table froze. The social worker whispered, "Do not answer." We let it ring, then stop, then ring again. Same number, same blocked ID. Someone was checking whether the phone was still where they left it, or whether the girl had done what she was told. My heart was pounding so hard I felt dizzy. I covered Lily's ears before saying the words, "We need the police," while security contacted law enforcement. I walked Lily to a quieter room near the nurse's station where she could feel less alone. I sat beside her. She was coloring a picture of a rabbit and a flower. Her little legs swung under the chair, not reaching the ground. "Lily," I said softly, "you're doing great. You're very brave." She shrugged. I tried again. "Can I ask you something? Just to help me understand." "Okay. When Mommy and Daddy left, did they say anything else?" She nodded. "They said I should be quiet." "Quiet about what?" "About the box." "What box?" She lifted Mr. Buttons and pointed at his belly. The box inside. She knew. She didn't know what it was, but she knew it mattered. "What did they say exactly?" She took a breath. "Mommy said if I told anyone, Daddy would get in trouble. And Daddy said if I didn't do what they said, Mommy would get hurt." And there it was. The reason she didn't cry. The reason she didn't talk. The reason she didn't run after them when they left. Fear. Fear too big for a 7-year-old to understand, but big enough to silence her completely. The detectives arrived fast. They spoke to Lily gently, carefully, but even then she stayed quiet until one of them knelt down and said, "You're safe. No one here will let Mommy or Daddy get hurt. We promise." and something in her broke. She whispered everything. Everything she remembered. Her father had been dealing drugs. Small stuff at first. Pills, weed, then harder things. Her mother knew. Sometimes helped. Sometimes didn't. There had been fights. Lots of them. Lily heard things she shouldn't have heard. Things her father wanted her to forget. The phone inside the rabbit? He had used it for deals, tracking, messages, evidence. And when things got bad, he panicked. He didn't know where to hide it. So he shoved it inside the stuffed rabbit and told Lily to hold it. Later that night, he drove them to the hospital and abandoned her there, hoping the evidence would disappear inside a system too overwhelmed to investigate. But instead, she ended up in my ER, in my chair, coloring a rabbit, trying to keep quiet so no one else would get hurt. Her parents were found later that night, both arrested. Her father tried to run. Didn't make it far. Her mother, when the officers brought her in, her face was swollen, her eyes red. Whether it was guilt, fear, or exhaustion, I'll never know. Lily didn't ask about her father, but she asked quietly, "Is Mommy okay?" I told her the truth. "She's safe now." She nodded slowly, absorbing the words. Then she looked up at me and whispered, "Can I stay here with you tonight?" And God, I wanted to say yes more than I've ever wanted anything, but hospitals don't work like that. Life doesn't work like that. I told her, "You're going to a place where people will take very good care of you. A place where you'll be safe, I promise." She crawled into my arms then, small and trembling, and whispered, "Thank you for not leaving." I held her until the social worker arrived, and even after she left, I sat in that empty room for a long time, staring at the little coloring page she'd left behind. A rabbit, a flower, and a tiny girl who just wanted someone to stay. I've seen trauma. I've seen violence. I've seen things that would break most people. But nothing has stayed with me the way Lily did, not because of what happened to her, but because of how quietly she endured it. Children shouldn't know how to be silent. They shouldn't know how to protect adults. They shouldn't know how to walk into an ER alone at 2 a.m. with a burner phone sewn into their stuffed rabbit. But she did, and that night changed me. It changed the way I look at every quiet kid, every frightened kid, every child who doesn't react the way you expect. Because sometimes the quietest kids are the ones in the most danger. Thank you for staying until the end of this story. This was one of the hardest nights of my career, and sharing it means a lot. If you appreciate true stories from real nurses, if you want more confessions, more raw moments, more behind-the-scenes truth from the ER, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who cares about the well-being of children. Your support helps these stories reach more people who need to hear them.